Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Mike Francesa podcast, part of the Bet Rivers Network. Francesa Five for week number 14. Last 2 weeks, we've been 2-3. I thought we'd be better than that. I really thought the Giants, with the points, would play better on Monday night. I was very disappointed in their performance. But 2-3 the last 2 weeks. We'll see if we can better that. 2 college games, 3 pro games this week. Now, first, let me tell you about the Mike Francesa newsletter. Sign up for the free, and that's the keyword free, Mike Francesa newsletter. You get exclusive content, contests, little things. I'm sure something for Christmas. Go to the MikeFrancesAPodcast.com and sign up. And remember, it's absolutely free. Now, Bet Rivers wants you to know that players who place a qualifying same game parlay of at least $10 on any NFL or NCAA football game will receive an entry into the weekly Squares game. And it's a fun way to play. Winning Squares can earn up to $50 bonus bets per entry. See the Bet Rivers app or website for full details. Game number 1, Ohio State, Indiana, the Big Ten Championship. 1 versus 2, battle of unbeatens. You cannot overstate how impressive what Cignetti has done in Indiana. Indiana is not a football school. It is a basketball school. It is a school where it is almost impossible to play big time football. It is a place where it is impossible to compete, especially with the likes of Ohio State and Michigan, who are always perennial powers. Then you usually have a Michigan State or an Iowa. Years ago, you don't have it recently, a Purdue. That would be a top 20 program. And Indiana would always be in that second division. They live in that second division and wait for Bob Knight to beat people in Bloomington. Cignetti has done an incredible job there. The question is, has he closed the gap against the mighty Buckeyes, who right now not only have an advantage over Indiana, they have an advantage over every program in the country. They are clearly superior to any team in the country. And I think this line is light at 4. Now, I understand psychologically why it's 4. Mendoza's a guy trying to win a Heisman Trophy. He's a Heisman Trophy type quarterback for Indiana. They've been incredibly explosive. They've won every game. They've found a way. They have a magic maker at head coach. Plus, you have Ohio State, which asks everything, mind, body, and soul of its players. And for them to pour every ounce of that into the performance against Michigan. For them to have to play a big game, a competitive game against the top team, no less number 2 team in the country, the next week is almost unfair because you know they pour every ounce of everything they have. Then they celebrate before they ever think about this week. On top of that, they've had to make sure they kept recruits in line because their offensive coordinator has taken the South Florida job. Will that impact them short term? Will it impact them in terms of this week? Will it impact what some of the big offensive players are thinking as far as their careers and everything else? So you have all this on the plate for Ohio State, all that playing in favor of Indiana, but is it enough? The answer from my standpoint is no. I have great respect and I'm in awe of what Indiana has done. Being around college football as long as I've been around it, I know how impossible that task is at a place like Indiana. It is one of the great rebuilding situations. I understand it can be done now where it couldn't be done because, let's be honest, he brought over almost an entire team. We know that. We know how he did it. It could not be done in the old days that way. Bill Mallory couldn't do this, okay? It can be done now, but only if you have a Pied Piper kind of coach like this guy is. And they had to spend a fortune to keep him because, every school wants him. Penn State wanted him. He got himself a $95 million contract. Okay, he earned it. Now, Ohio State's a 4-point favorite. Ohio State, in my mind, is 10 points better than anybody in this country on a neutral field. Their defense has 4 first rounders. It is by far the best defense in the country. Not even close. The Michigan game was not your typical Michigan game. Not that they didn't feel the intensity and prepare the same way they did, but they knew, even after a terrible start for them in the game, about as bad as it could have gotten. The only thing that could have been worse is if Michigan had gotten in the end zone more in the first quarter. They completely dominated the game to where the game was a ho-hum situation where they knew they couldn't lose. They knew Michigan couldn't move the ball. They knew they could do whatever they wanted. They have 2 wide receivers. One's a first-round pick. One could be the first player picked in the draft when he comes out. They singled him on a play. He got a 35-yard touchdown pass. We know how good he is, okay? Lethal with a very good quarterback, with a terrific freshman running back in Bo Jackson. Great talent abounds everywhere for Ohio State. Indiana has had a magical season in every way. They are a good defensive team. They are a great offensive team. They have a wonderful quarterback who might very well be the first player picked in the draft. The bottom line is they are not in the same class as Ohio State. Not offensively, not defensively. Nobody can stop those Ohio State receivers. Nobody can stop the Ohio State defense, which has given up absolutely nothing all year. Absolutely nothing. A couple of outside runs, and that's what they have to guard against. They're a little vulnerable to the outside run. They've been hit with some zone moves to the outside, which way they have gotten hurt on. Other than that, they have not been vulnerable to anything all year. Their quarterback is very shrewd, and after a rough start, he played a superb game. He is a very cool customer with terrific offensive talent, lethal wide receiver talent. I think it'll be a good game until Ohio State pulls away. I think Ohio State wins the game 14, 17 points. I don't think they're going to kill them. I think Indiana will might even be the first team ever to crack 20 on them this year. That will probably be what the storyline is. Do they crack 20? But Ohio State will crack 30. Ohio State -4 is game number 1. Game number 2, I've been on Texas Tech a lot this year. I think I've picked them 4 times. The one time they lost, their quarterback got hurt. They had the lead. They lost it in the final seconds against Arizona State. It's the only loss they had this season. They beat BYU 29-7. They're going to beat them that badly again in the Big 12 championship, if not worse. They're 12.5-point favorites. They want to show everybody how good they are. They're good offensively. They're good defensively. I think they're the 3rd best team in the country. I think they're better than Georgia. I think they're 3rd and Georgia's 4th. They're 12-point favorites. Steep, but I think not steep enough. Give me Texas Tech, who I've been riding all year. So my 2 college picks, Ohio State -4, Texas Tech -12 in their conference championship games this weekend. Now, 3 pro games. I stayed on the big 5 games because I think those are the games that everyone's going to zero in on. I wanted to make picks in those games. Steelers and Ravens. Both teams really hurting. Both quarterbacks hurting. Both quarterbacks really having trouble moving the football, having big trouble getting into the end zone. And I think this game will turn into a typical Steeler-Raven game where I'm not even sure the winner will get over 24 points. I think they might be somewhere settled in where the winner gets somewhere around 20. Could be like a 2017 game. Ravens are a 6-point favorite. I have seen nothing. I actually don't think Lamar Jackson should be playing. You know how important he is to the team. They have been able to piece these games together for the most part when he's there, but he's not even a shadow of himself. I'm not sure which quarterback finishes the game. Maybe neither does. Maybe we see both backups. Give me the Steelers +6 in a game that I think will be very, very tightly played to the vest. Field position, typical Steeler Raven game. Texans and Chiefs. I've been on the Chiefs. I picked them on Thanksgiving against the Cowboys, and the Cowboys made more plays. The Chiefs, I also thought, and I know no one cares. I thought they got a couple of bad calls, but I know that the world, and I have to honestly say, the Chiefs have been on the positive side of a lot of calls in the last 5 years, and it's ticked off a lot of people who watch games. They were the recipient of, I thought, a couple of really terrible calls in this game, including a really terrible pass interference call, but I don't think anybody cares. They want to see this. They want to see the Chiefs go away. I think the Texans are hot. They're starting to put their offense together. They've won 4 straight games. Their defense is the number one defense. It's better than the Broncos. Broncos are a really good defense. This is a better and a more solid defense, play in and play out. This team sacked Josh Allen 8 times. Times where Kansas City has not been able to fix things is when the offensive line falls apart, and the offensive line is headed for ruin this week with 3 major injuries. I don't think they can fix it. I don't think they have the people to fix it with. Give me the Texans. I've seen the line at 3.5. I've seen it at 4. Either one, you're getting 3 and a hook. It's fine. If you're getting 3.5, you're getting 4. Either one, give me the Texans plus the points. And then on Monday night, the Eagles and the Chargers. The Eagles can lose this game and make the playoffs. I know they want to stop whatever the bleeding is the last 2 weeks. They've been embarrassed in both games. Embarrassed against the Cowboys. They were embarrassed against the Bears. Obviously, they have pride, but I think they could get beat in this game because I think the Chargers are going to be a lot healthier. Obviously, this is with Herbert playing. Everything that I've been able to ascertain is that Herbert is going to play. Plus, they're going to get their rookie running back who showed big-time talent before he got hurt. Has been back at practice. He'll be coming off the IR, and I think he will be a big factor in the game. And that's a big positive for them. Give me the Chargers +3. So I'm taking 3 dogs in those big games. I'm taking Steelers +6, Texans +3.5 or 4, and Chargers +3. The 3 picks in the NFL, and then Ohio State -4 against Indiana, and Texas Tech -12 against BYU, the Francesa Five, for week number 14. Enjoy.